Custom streaming key. Make sure I feed over. Right, it's just loading. We're coming right up to the hour, a minute. Come on. Come on, live stream. Everything's been really running so slow for me today. And then I
Yeah, you said
realized,
that.
yeah, I realized the little ones unplugged my booster station at the back here. So that's why I'm like, why
Oh
is it
no.
like dull? She's been flicking switches on and off, pulling cords out. I'm like, oh, that's
What is
why.
happening?
Yeah. All right, hang on a sec. Just dropped out. Why did it do that? I haven't done these for a while, so I got to grab this detail. Where are we? Um, okay. Events. Right. Go live. Stream Facebook. Wow, it's really slow. Come on. Try it again. Let's refresh. I'll shut a few browsers down. Let's
You're
get
right.
rid of a
Okay.
few things, mate.
Yep.
Well, that's really quick. How's your day been?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah?
How's
Productive?
yours? Yeah, productive.
Yeah.
Got my car fixed.
Was it just like literally the earth cord?
Yeah.
Just the connection point of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Often that's a
Yeah.
pretty straightforward fix.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
your mate's mum, dad wasn't able to fix it?
Nah, look, he fixed it for a day and then I just drove it around and obviously he turned a corner and yeah, it was still
Yeah.
no good. So yeah, get that shit sorted and we'll be right.
What's going
Having a
on?
car is pretty annoying.
Uh, Come on. It's like it's stuck.
Really.
Hmm. Fucking technology. Your best mate when it works. Pain in the ass when it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So where are you outside in the backyard, are
Yeah, outside the backyard.
you? Nice. Is it nice out there? I haven't even been
It's actually
outside
really
today, mate.
nice out here. Yeah.
How good's this autumn
It's,
weather? It's like warm at the moment, eh?
I know. I actually don't think it's gonna get like winter weather until late.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's like a late, well, it was a late summer. Summer didn't really hit till February, did it really?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Fuck sakes.
Look, it's
Why is
just
it
not meant to
doing?
be.
It is, mate. Gents will make it work. Don't worry. Right. Um, where are we? I have to manually do the source. We'll just ring Tony to see if he's changed something. I haven't done these for a while. He's been taken over with Grocon.
Yeah, right.
Hello.
Was he supposed to be
Hey,
on it
man.
too, or just you?
You. Yeah, mate, I'm just going live stream, live on custom live streaming service. That's what you click on, don't you? Yep. Yeah, mine won't feed over. It's just sitting on preparing to live stream the webinar, but it doesn't.
You've got the Facebook page open?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not in front of my computer now.
I'm logged into our page as well.
You've It's dicky, I know, but you've got the go into the Zoom webinar and see if you can grab the keys from the Facebook page and put them in the Zoom webinar.
Yeah, that's what I'll have to do now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll manually do it.
You started. Just stream it to YouTube if you started already.
All good.
We'll load
No,
it
I
to
haven't
Facebook
started.
later.
Haven't started yet, mate.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Try that. Yeah.
See you, champ. I think that's it, mate. I'm manually going to have to update this. Streaming
Oh,
URL.
that's all right.
Where are we? But settings. Streaming server URL. That's right. That's right. Go live. Okay. It seems to be loading now. Pretty slowly. Here we go. Okay. I think we're live. Let's do a little refresh here, Hayley. Let's just check for the viewers and make sure we are live at the event, in the event. Here we go. Come on. All right, we are live. Sorry about the delay, folks. Technology is your best friend when it works for you, but not so much when it works against you. Thanks for your patience in waiting for this live event where each and every Tuesday we come together to co-host with a special panelist and guest. And I've been really excited for this special guest that's coming on today. Somebody who's lived a similar journey as myself over the many years of being in real estate. Somebody who's gone through the traditional ways over those years and has now come along to power their business in new era days with eXp Realty as our model. Maybe if you're a franchise agent, you're watching this, you come from a franchise system or you're in a franchise system. Today, hopefully something resonates and connects with you and this incredible story from our special guest. I'm just going to read a quick little bio here because I was reading it in readiness for today's session and I got goosebumps because it was super motivational. And it starts off by saying, this person is ambitious, resilient, and fiercely determined. That's me. If there's one thing I know for sure, it's this. Real estate isn't just about buying and selling property. It's all about the people. And without further ado, the lovely face on screen, Hayley Beckett from eXp Realty. Thank you for joining us today on eXp Realty Australia's Explained and Discovery session.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. It's a pleasure.
Well, I appreciate you being here, and I'm loving seeing you on camera more and more as your business grows and evolves. And I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be with us.
You've popped my live stream cherry today, so I'm very excited about that one.
Well, we are live, so viewers, if you're watching us live, make sure you give a big thumbs up, lots of hearts, lots of emoji, love Hayley's way. And these Tuesday sessions are exactly that. There's no better, I guess, testament to hear from a real life agent who is in the transactional trenches daily of how they're finding our model and opportunity to power their business along. So I guess, Hayley, before we jump into your story and your why and why you're here today, just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in real estate, where you've come from, how that journey's looked for you and where you're at today.
Okay, so my journey has been a fairly long one. I started when I was 21 years old in the industry. I'm nearly 40, so do the math. So yeah, just over 18 years. I started out as an administrator. I moved my way up to the property management sector, and then went into sales, jumped into that fully fledged, and never looked back. So I've come from a huge franchise model. I've been loyal to that brand and that brand only for my entire. And then obviously franchise model, found eXp way and learned, and I'm doing really well.
Awesome. So outside of real estate, you're a mum, you do school drop-offs, school pickups, you're off to cricket. I think the boys play soccer too from memory, don't they? Is it soccer? Yeah, soccer. And in between all of that, you're out there meeting clients, listing, transacting, negotiating, and bringing people's property dreams together. Really cool to hear that. You know, a lot of people just get into sales, right? And they apply a lot of pressure to administration and just go, do this for me, right? Because I'm the salesperson. You come from a place of having been in that administrative role, so you know how important administration is to every real estate business. I think it's always great to start from the grassroots. I know when I started my traineeship, I was the same. They put me on front desk and was like, there you go, handle all the crap out the front of the office. And then when I got 6 months in, it's like, this guy's still here. Okay, let's put him in another little, you know, grubby job that no one wants to do. So I went into the PM department and did all the admin and all the stuff no one wanted to do. But I think there's something beautiful in that, where your real estate journey organically evolves based on those core foundations of not just getting into listing and selling from day one. You actually understand the full operational suite of what it takes to be a transactional agent, the process. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly right. And I mean, eXp have got a fantastic admin team in the background there. I can't actually fault them. I've been obviously with that franchise model where we were provided, you know, some extra additional support, but the eXp, you know, support that we actually get side is absolutely amazing.
Well, let's talk about that, because you're a consistent performer. You've just recently made it into the top 5 for South Australian transactional agents for eXp Realty Q1 2025. You haven't been here a long time. What's it been, mate? It's going by at the blink of an eye. It's been less than 6 months, surely, has it?
It's been less than 6 months, so not a bad start to 2025.
Okay, I always get this wrong.
Not a bad start to eXp, yeah.
That's good. I always get that wrong, because sometimes I'm like, you've been here about 12 months, and Marco's like, it's been 2 years nearly, mate. I'm like, where did that time go? Right. So you've hit the ground running, you've hit your straps. I appreciate when you came from, you know, your 17 plus years in the traditional franchise way, making a move. There's a lot of moving parts, right? I remember that day when I was like, oh my God, like, where do I do this? How do I do that? That's going to change. This is different. So change within the 4 walls of our own head, sometimes when we're looking at it into the future of making a change, can be incredibly daunting, right? You've been here 6 months. For you to transition from a transactional agent under a franchise model into a cloud-based solution, how did you find that change? Like, is it as hard as what we make it out to be? Do we make it more difficult than what it is in reality and hindsight? Like, tell me about that whole transition for you.
So absolutely not. I feel like I should have made this move a lot sooner. I feel like I really put a lot of, you know, pressure on the fact that, you know, you believe whatever your principal or your franchise owner is telling you. And it's interesting because when I came from that franchise model, I was made to believe that, you know, eXp was, you know, something that they're not. I guess that there may have been, you know, a threat to perhaps the potential, you know, franchise owner, that if I was to consider moving over to eXp, what that might look like for him to lose me. But at the same time, like, because I had this awareness, when I left that franchise model, I actually then did my own research into why was I being told this information, and I want to know more. So I guess that's when I come to you, Chris, and said, okay, well, look, I'm happy to have a chat about the eXp way and what that offers me. But the transition's been very easy. I think that in my own mind, I was stepping away from my job in that franchise model, and I was doing it gradually, because I started without even really knowing that, you know, I actually wanted to have my own, you know, website that, you know, instead of it going to directly to that company, it would, you know, go to myself. Like, you know, I was the, you know, #1 sponsor at the soccer club, and I wanted, you know, on the stubby holders out there for everyone to have a QR code, and for that to go to, you know, my name and my brand. So I started having these little moments where I realized that I didn't actually enjoy the environment that I was in. And then I started to then, you know, tick all the boxes to start to move forward to see what eXp was about.
Yeah, cool. It's really interesting to note because you've someone who's got a lot of skin in the game in the industry over a lengthy period of time. You definitely got plenty of runs on the board. I mean, I'm just looking here. You've got 41 reviews on your REA profile of 4.9 stars as the average. So you must be doing something right. And I guess what I'm hearing is you got to a stage in your real estate career where you just had outgrown, I guess, the
Yeah.
environment, the model, and the vehicle that you're in. But it's
Hmm.
interesting to note that there was a lot of disinformation or misinformation that was spread upon you for
Hmm.
obvious reasons, like you said, whether it be scarcity, uncertainty. A lot
Hmm.
of people will spread disinformation often when they come from a place of insecurity themselves, or perhaps they just don't know what they don't know. So tell me,
Hmm.
like, if we can unpack that moment when you realize, okay, I've actually outgrown this. Like, it's been great.
Hmm.
It's been a great stepping stone. I mean, for me, my former franchise life, I don't regret it. It got me to where I am
Hmm.
today and where I need to be today. So I'm very grateful for that. Um,
Yeah.
I guess what I want to ask you is when you put aside what the naysayers and the doubters were saying to distract you and you started to actually investigate into looking into this, what were the
Mhm.
key things that you identified that really resonated with you about the franchise way and the new era option with eXp Realty? Like what stood out to you?
Well, I guess I just took an audit of my actual life and worked out what I needed in my life
Yeah.
to still progress. And now, you know, EXP allows, the freedom, the ability for me to work from home, being, that soccer mom and really having to juggle a lot of hats and do things constantly for, that work-life balance, which I think is, my ace in the hole here. Like I
Yeah.
actually, can really do that. So I guess for me, it was all just about working out, what the best structure and the best model was for me to progress with the lifestyle that I wanted to live.
Cool. So you've outgrown the previous model. You've embarked on this research, R&D, we call it research and development. You found there's another solution out there. You stepped out of your comfort zone, I imagine too, though, because I
Yeah,
know when I moved after, I don't know, what was it, 12 years in the franchise system, it was very complacent. I was very comfortable. It's easy for us to stay as is, but I was
yeah,
like, surely there's more out there. There's got to be more
yeah.
to this, right? So you've made the change. You've come on board, right? Let's talk about as a transactional agent that's been in the game a long time, what were the key components that you looked for in the model for you? Like, was it support? Was it branding? Was it marketing? Was it collaboration? Was it systems, tech, AI? Like, what was really important to you?
The freedom was really important to me,
Okay.
being the mum. Not only that, just the support has been absolutely fantastic since joining. I think that we all, find it hard that, perhaps that we're stuck in these old cycles and the collaboration that EXP provide, you get to still be your own boss, you run your own business, but we actually, are able to then work and collaborate together, which is so cool because I, came from that, I guess the franchise model where there was a lot of conflict, in relation to, commissions and things like that, and being able to collaborate as your own boss with another boss and have the XP backing is just awesome. It's fun. It's something that, yeah, I would never look back.
I love that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I'm going to take that tagline. It's like bosses collaborating with bosses.
Yeah,
Now imagine that in the real world, a principal collaborating with a principal. It generally doesn't happen because I've got my own shop front, I've got my own business, I've got my own staff I've got to worry about. Whereas
yeah,
here, we kind of break down those barriers and it's like, well, there is no shop front and there is no office. We just all
correct.
collaborate on an ownership perspective among each other through
Yeah,
cloud-based solutions, which is
yeah.
eXp Realty. That's super cool. Can you give me one example of collaboration? Because I've heard probably those two words resonate most with you is freedom and collaboration.
Hmm.
And I know you and I collaborate together. But
Hmm.
like, can you give me one example of collaboration? So if I was somebody watching this that's maybe, where Hayley
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
12, 18, 24 months ago, stuck. What do I do? Which way, what direction do I do? What direction do I go? What's one example that you could share to that agent and viewer that is a great example of collaboration that you've
Hmm.
experienced.
Yeah. So since joining EXP, I have built a friendship and a relationship and collaborated with Tim Hosking. Now he is one of the top leading performers in EXP. He's an inspiration to us all. And he unfortunately a very tragic time, and is still process, no doubt. That's a forever thing. But yeah, I was able to then, put my hand up and say, well, look, I'm happy to help you, help keep your, business running, and back you. And with the backing of eXp and everyone involved, it's just an amazing opportunity for me. And yeah, I was very grateful to be able to help him through such a hard time.
Yeah, cool. I remember that back then, that time it was challenging, it was difficult, but it was very inspiring what you did in that situation, those circumstances. So if you could have your time again, right, let's think back before the change, as the change is
Mhm.
happening. What would you have done differently? Again, think it from the perspective of somebody who's watching Hayley from afar and thinking, wow, she inspires me. She's gone out from working in a franchise, working for the boss, to now she's running her own business. She's being a mum. She's collaborating. She's got freedom and all of that. What would you have done differently, if anything at all? And what did you find your challenges were? Like, what were your pain points that you may have had through that transition?
Look, I probably would have looked at my numbers on my group certificate earlier. Like, that sounds really cliche, but in all honesty, money, helps. It provides opportunities and everything else. And I mean, what eXp do offer, and I mean, you might be able to explain a little bit more about, the percentages and things like that. But, if I had gone back in time, I would have definitely taken a look at my group certificate and understood, what portion I was actually paying to the boss at the time, and then working out what eXp actually would provide me. And I would have made the move quicker than I did. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the gap in the industry quite consistently. You're not the only one. A lot of agents don't actually know their numbers. They don't know their bottom line between profit and pain. A
Hmm.
lot of franchise agent, not all, but many that I talk to think they're on a 50 or 60% split. But when we actually dive into their, I call it their profit and loss statement, right? Because as a
Hmm.
company, we should all be running a P&L statement. And if you don't have one in your business, well, that's not knowing your numbers. But when we look at, okay, 50% traditional split, let's call it, when there's things like settlement gifts that come off, and printing and franchise fees and whatever it
Hmm.
might be, many agents are actually on around 36% is the
Yeah.
average for a franchise agent, right? Which
Hmm.
that's a lot of work that you do, nights, days, weekends,
Hmm.
weeknights, and everything in between. That's before tax, keeping in mind. So
Yeah,
there's very little wiggle room. And as we know, the cost of business and life over the last 3, 4 years has gone up drastically for all of us, right?
absolutely.
So, if you're not looking at your profit and loss statement, given the what's happened with expenses, both for household and businesses of late, you are vulnerable. You're going to be exposed, and you're going to feel some hurt and pain. And that's what
Hmm.
we do, Hayley, is we can look at the numbers a number of different ways with agents that are looking to potentially partner with us. But I think it's a really important point that you raised there. Really understand your numbers. Look at not what you're getting as a net figure in your payment each fortnight or at the end of
Hmm.
the month whenever you get paid, is actually having a look at what's your SG&A, your expenses that
Hmm.
are eating away at your bottom line.
Yeah.
Because 30% profit, or not even profit because it's gross at the end of the financial year for all the work that you're doing,
Hmm.
that's a small portion of the 100% of the revenue that was generated, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, now it's coming up to 6 months. What are you looking forward to in the future? Where's Hayley Beckett's business going into the future? What do you have on the horizon?
Look, I, you know, pride myself on, my referral system and everything like that. But I'm really excited about, what eXp has to offer with the tools and the training and everything that's going on in the, in the space that, you know they can provide, anything. And I can come to any of you and say, okay, well, this is my problem, or this is what I want to do, and I'm not alone. Like, I'm hoping to, really excel with my career. I'm hoping to, get my name out there more, to brand, myself, backed by you guys, and yeah, really smash it.
Can I ask you this, right? I get it all the time. You guys are just a bunch of agents running around at home. What are you really doing? Is it pretend real estate? And I'm like, everything we do is
No.
serious, right? Whether you're doing it in an office or out in the street, on the road, going to clients' houses, it's no
Yeah.
different, right? But some agents say to me, working from home, it can have its real benefits,
Yeah.
for some people, it can have its challenges too, with noise, distraction, or just being complacent, kicking back, watching Netflix on the couch, right?
Yeah.
How are you finding it still getting all the training and support that you mentioned before? Because going from an office environment, I know to get agents to come into the monthly meeting, man, it was like pulling it was just like pulling your teeth out. 50%
Yeah.
would love to be there, 25% wouldn't rock up, and 25%
Mm-hmm.
would be dragging their heels because it was a mandatory meeting they had to come
Yeah.
to. A lot of the training wasn't really relevant too, because
Mm-hmm.
whether it was the selling principal was busy just selling, right? They're
Yeah.
focused on their own transactional business, or maybe they haven't been in the business for a while, so they've sort of become a little bit antiquated with how
Mm-hmm.
things work now within the transactional space. But
Mm-hmm.
training and support is a big thing. I mean, I know myself, I was on training earlier today. It's not always about the training. I love the connection. Like, one of the
Yeah.
things that I really wanted when I moved my business out of an office environment is I still wanted to work autonomously on my own, right? Because I can be more productive, but I still wanted to stay connected with people like
Yeah.
you, Hay, and other
Yeah.
agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you finding, like, working from home, balancing that, doing the mum role and putting the real estate cape on, I should say, not the cap,
Yeah.
so then still getting the training support that you need?
I think that my motivation obviously stems from my why, and that's my children. Now,
Yeah,
that's what drives me, and that's what gets me out of bed every day anyhow. But
yeah,
having the accountability and the responsibility, and it relying on you, is pretty crazy. So at the end of the day, like, if I some people do go through peaks and troughs of hard times. If I am going through something like that, it's you pick up the phone and you give another EXP worker a call, and you say, hey, look, what's happening? And you know what? The support is just fantastic. And I can say that because, I'm raw and I'm honest, and there's no shying away from the fact that, we all go through some hard days. But,
yeah,
like, I've been put in group chats with, some accountability, like, come on, get up. We're doing this many calls. We've got to do this many connects a day. If you're feeling, that you need some support, it's there. I've got no hesitation to be able to ring at least, 5 to 10 of you on my list of people that I could just definitely rely on and say, well, hey, look, I need some accountability today. I mean, you obviously,
yeah.
everyone goes through, times, but it does rely on you.
Mm.
You've got the ability to, tweak it, redo it, all of those kind of things. But yeah, the support network that eXp provides is just awesome.
I
Honestly, it
remember a
is.
wise man and mentor told me the best hand that you could ever feed from is your own hand.
Yeah.
And, I feel like this model provides that, because you are in
Mhm.
business for yourself, but not by yourself. But the only
Correct.
hand you feed from is your own, which there's something really motivationally inspiring about that, because,
Hmm.
I say to a lot of agents, and we had a conversation about this the other day, like, in life, no one's coming to rescue you. And you know this,
Correct.
with the
Yeah.
conversation we had the other day. There's no rescue party. There's no saints from above and angels from over here that are
Yeah.
come to pick you up and go, you know what, Hayley, I know you're struggling right now. Here's 10 listings to help you with
Yeah.
your situation. Like, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But one of the things this model really, I guess, encourages is that true entrepreneurial spirit, like,
Yeah.
when you may be accustomed to having somebody else determine what your value is in your commission split to when you do or you don't get paid. That is for some people, and I respect that. If that's you, cool. But our model is truly built for entrepreneurs like you, where, yes, there's a bit of thrill seeking into the unknown, right? Because we're
Yeah.
going into business for ourselves, but there's a heck of a lot of reward that, if you get it right, you can
Hmm.
take this a long way, not just
Yeah.
financially, freedom wise,
Hmm.
choice, cash flow. I mean,
Hmm.
we'll just talking to Bori's son today, who just settled on his third property. Like, the guy's
Hmm.
30 and he's bought 3 properties within a couple of years
Amazing.
because
Yeah.
of his cash flow position, and
Hmm.
how this model has helped him open up
Hmm.
and diversify his cash flow position.
Hmm.
Um, we've come up to 30 minutes, mate. This is always good. What I love about you is, folks, if you're looking at our model and who we are, no better person than to reach out to Hayley, because I promise you this, there's no filter with Hayley, right? She's dry, she's real, she's authentic, and you're going to hear exactly how it is, right? So
That's
there's
exactly
no
right.
facades here. So reach out to her if you're looking at our model. But I guess any words of encouragement from your journey and sharing that today, thank you so much. But Hayley, would there be any encouragement for agents who are maybe that have been in your position that we've been in, that are thinking, I'm unhappy, I've outgrown where I'm at, what would you say to them? What would be your words of encouragement to those people, those agents?
Look, honestly, just take a really good audit of yourself. Like, sit down, take a step back and say, look, am I happy in this environment? And if you're not, like, work out, what your options are, because, options provide happiness, and, you work out what your why is, and you get to that real to the core why. And that's what's going to drive you, and what's going to make you see, the best direction to go in.
I love it. Do an audit on yourself.
Yeah.
Is that your business, your numbers, yourself
Hmm.
personally, mentally, spiritually, obviously the environment that you're in? You're taking me back to 2018 before I came over and ventured here to eXp. I remember being in that exact position and I was asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
Why? Why am I still doing this? What, am I really happy? Could I see myself doing this for the next 10, 15, 20 years? And I think that's the thing. Some agents play the short-term game and they don't
Yeah.
think of the long-term perspective. And, you know, things change in life, circumstances within relationships, it could be financially, it could be culture, environment, whatever it is. But you got to ask yourself that long-term question of, can I see myself being here and doing this for the next 10, 20, 30 years? Now, for me, eXp Realty, this is it, right? Till my
Yeah.
preservation retirement age, which at this rate will be 97 at the way the country's going.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to retire one day. Um, that's really good words of advice and encouragement. Hayley Beckett, thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us. Coming up to 6 months, appreciate your time today. Really loving your journey and collaborating with you as we do every day. We might check in with you in about 12 months' time just to see how the
Hmm.
first year has gone. But lastly, congratulations on being in the top
Thank you.
5 for SA Q1 2025. You've only been here for a short time. It's been a great time, but we're super excited what the future holds for you. Thanks for joining us, Hayley Beckett.
Thanks so much, Chris.